Well, I was a fan of his films when I was like, when they came out, when Stranger Than Paradise came out. I saw it in the film theater, and I stole the movie poster. It was really big and hanging in like a place like this, and put it in my jacket, under my leather jacket. So I was always a fan. And then one day, I ran into the street into him in New York. I just saw him, and I gave him a CD and asked him if he liked lutes, and he said yes. And then after that, he contacted me. So that's how I met him. And it was not a challenge really to work for his film, to write for his film, because I think, I sort of just, did it from a mood and from a feeling that I have, that Jim has, like this tempo in his films, which is sort of slow, and there's a lot of space. And to me, that's really easy to imagine music to, So that's what happened. I guess I was sort of initiated by my teacher. I studied lute in New York with an American teacher, Pater Brian, and he, the first thing he said, if you want to make a living doing this, you have to write your own pieces for this instrument. And then gradually, I started to do that and improvise and come up with this sort of system of writing mirror images in composition, and so sort of signature style. And then that worked really well, I thought, and and that I've been doing that since then. And it was sort of my mission to bring the lute back, and also, to make it more easy to listen to, or make it more approachable for a younger audience, because it was sort of in the hands of academics mostly, and sort of kept in the museum, which I didn't want. I thought it was time for it to just take it out of the museum and bring it back to the people, because it was a really popular instrument, 400 years ago. It was everywhere. So there's no reason to hide it now, and say, okay, this has all these rules, this instrument, and you have to play it like this, And so I sort of freed that up in a way, and hopefully now it's easier for people to pick up a lute and study it, and play it yourself, Actually, that was my idea, yes. We talked about it, Jim and I, and I suggested to have a Tangier and a Detroit side, and sort of a rock side, and a more, let's say, ethereal, sort of dreamy side. And that was my idea. Yeah, I like it when they first meet. After all that time, and he bows for her, and then it's the music, the song, this theme song that I did, and also I like to end with the song with Zola Jesus, which I wrote for her, for Zola Jesus to sing, and where I play lute, and then I thought that worked really well also. But I like the gracefulness of that scene, and I think it works really well with sort of this graceful piece, which the lute is a graceful instrument also, I think. Well, Adam has all these, these characters on the wall, which I guess is sort of more Jim's personal favorite writers and musicians and all that, But yeah, there's William Blake, I think, which he uses a lot in his films, and which, is also a big inspiration to me, and mystical writers, and, musically, I think, there's a lot of music that Jim and I both like. It goes from rock and roll to classical music, and it's pretty broad. Most people only like, either difficult new music, or they like rock and roll, but I like both, and so does Jim, so we have that in common. And I think Adam is sort of a mirror of that, And Eve reads a lot of old books, which I also collect. So. So I feel really similar, you know. Yeah, it's a film about a musician, and it's a long film, so you know there's a lot of music in it, which obviously you know I didn't pick all of it. So and you know Jim picked these sort of classics, also classic pieces, like there's a soul piece in it, you know, and stuff. But I feel fine about it. I think it works really well, and it just makes for a good combination with the rest of it, you know. Part of the soundtrack is the collaboration also, you know. So that's it. That's why it works, I guess. But again, you know, it's a film about a musician, and it's 2 hours or more. So it's logically that there's a lot of different styles in it, you know, and not just my lute music. I think I came quite far, yeah. You know, I think it's getting, you know, people take it serious. And one of the great things that this movie did was that people also started to listen to my older work again. And so now, you know, there's an interest for it. So I think now it's more, you know, people take it more serious as an instrument, sure. So I'm quite happy about that, you know. Yeah, and I think that's changed for sure, yes. It's like a new audience for it, so. And not you know just the lute teachers or the academics or the early music people who already listen to it, you know, because there's nothing to be won, you know, to play for those people, but you know, it's just like young people, you know, that listen to, I don't know, maybe to Justin Timberlake or something. They get to listen to.